Alright you guys, so I'm in the garage today. What I'll be doing is swapping out my forks on my 2000 Hayabusa. So nothing's wrong with them. They're good, fork seals and everything. Just like I said, nothing wrong. It was just more cosmetic. So you had some of these models that came out for the Gen 1 that had the black lowers and then the gold tubes and everything. And I kind of like that look a tad bit more. So it was random. I was on eBay, saw these on there, and I figured, you know what? Let me go ahead and snatch those up. They were like for a super good deal. And they're straight. All I did was like swap out the fork seals, add some new fork oil on them. Nothing was wrong with them originally. I just did that for peace of mind. But yeah, $100. That was like super cheap. So I figured like, why not? Not to say that the silver ones don't flow. I mean, as you can see, it looks good, but it's just like a preference thing. You might have some people who aren't on board with it or like it or kind of dislike the whole gold standard for forks on sport bikes, but yeah, little bastards. But yeah, that's what I'll be doing today, and got my stand right here. I'll take the front fairing and stuff off just because this kind of gets in the way and hits under here, so. And regardless, I wouldn't even, my hands are probably too big to even break loose the triple tree bolts that hold the forks in and what have you, but yeah, it should be a quick, cool little project, and yeah, just wanted to have you guys tuned in on it. And this is where we are at. So I got that all off. Here's that plug I was referencing. So for your light assembly, turn signals and all that, it's right here. It's just that one plug, and then the fasteners for that slides right off. So not difficult at all. Just be mindful of your mesh screening for your ram air, you know, because it sits recessed in here. So this one did come loose when I pulled it off, so just be mindful of that. That way it's not just sitting in there and then you got everything buttoned up and you look and it's like that mesh is missing. That would suck. But yeah, so had a little trouble with the fender just because the bracket that supports the actual brake line, it's riveted in, you can't unscrew it. So all I did was let the fender unscrewed sit on top of the wheel, and then rotate it, squeeze in on the left and right, and then I just made sure the bracket was sitting right close under the fork seal on this side. So sit down under that, so pretty much be under here, and you have this much more clearance, and then I was able to squeeze in and pull out. Just be mindful, try not to have it riding on your fork tube, don't scratch, and yeah, your paint too, but nothing too difficult. So next is calipers. I guess ahead of time you could break these loose too. You could do it on here, but since it's like that, just break them loose. That way when it is up in the air, you're not putting too much force on anything. But yeah, crack those loose, the axle. And then on this side, you'll be able to do that after. And then once it's supported or whatever, you could drop the wheel and bam, it's fork time. Alright, so this is where I'm at. I got one off. I'm not gonna lie, I did run into an issue with my triple tree stand. It didn't seat all the way in there like it should. There's still just a tad bit. There's enough in there obviously to get it up, but to be safe, I still put my center stand under here, under the headers. It's like just resting there for, it's just, like I said, safety. And then that to kind of make sure it's stable. But yeah, I ran into that and should be good. And I used a shoelace to tie this and a box just to set that caliper on. That way it's not just dangling. But I got one loose. I mean, I got them both loose, I'm sorry. One out completely. I busted these 12mm screws right here. And then you have that Allen up here. So, yeah, once that's there, it's already loose. And this side is probably still a tad bit tight, not gonna lie. They haven't been removed before, so it's not like they're gonna just, oh yeah, it is. Tight. It's not gonna just fall straight down, but you know, just be mindful. Don't back out on them too much. Just have enough to where it's holding it, but it's not just gonna slide out. And then, as you can see, give it a little turn, and bam, down she goes. These look like they were removed because there's some of the plastic from the KYB though. So maybe the last owner changed the forks on these. There's a possibility. Or maybe the boot's a giveaway if anyone knows the specifics on how the factory ones look. But yeah, looking at that most certainly is a dead giveaway because that was there before the thing moved down. But nonetheless, I'm just talking right now. Let me get two hands on this bad boy. All that tape getting hung up a bit. There we go. Slightly, bam, and she's out. Little bastard. Yeah. Sitting exposed. You're probably gonna, looks ghetto, looks ghetto. I'm already in too deep, so had to do what I had to do. On to the next thing.
Your elbows off the table.
All right, so pinch bolts are in here. They're all torqued up there. Make sure everything is seated correctly. My axle, calipers, everything. So all torqued, ready to go. Got the info online, and then as far as the settings for the actual suspension to have it for factory, I got a owner's manual, so it has all that info on here. Damping force, adjustment, what have you. This is gonna be factory, nothing crazy, but on there. Next is just a fender, fairing, mirrors, whatever little dash plastics under there, but yeah, looks legit if you ask me.